Rodtang is out of his scheduled title fight with Superlek, and Mini T is scheduled to take his place on just 3 days' notice. First of all, let's just talk about the balls on Mini T. Going into a title fight in a sport that he was not preparing for on just 3 days' notice in the weight class above where he competes. Absolutely insane. That being said, I give him very little shot here about beating Superlek. It's, again, a sport he was not preparing for, a sport that he does not have much of a discipline in. I think Superlek's just probably going to outpace him for 5 rounds. Maybe Mini T could make it interesting, make it a brawl, and maybe make it a more fun fight. But even in that, I think that Superlek's probably going to take a decision here. For Rodtang, I think he lost the most out of this fight because that was probably the best chance that he had about beating Superlek. Superlek, he had an leg injury in his foot with Portas, which prevented him from throwing kicks. In the kickboxing rule set, he was already unable to use elbows, which would have been very crucial against Rodtang. And his cardio problems against Portas probably would have carried over, considering that it was only a 2-month fight away from that. So Rodtang had all these advantages, and yet he just lost them all just because he got injured or something happened there. Very unfortunate for him. That might have been the best shot he had at beating Superlek. But there is at least one real title fight being between Alicia Rodriguez and Janet Todd. Both of these women are very dangerous to one another. Alicia Rodriguez has those beautiful body kicks that she just needs to keep peppering Janet with, because Janet had problems with her cardio in her fight with Laura Fernandez. And I think that would just be exacerbated if Alicia just keeps drilling that body shot. And if Janet does try and go into the inside, she's going to be met with those pretty lethal elbows that Alicia possesses. Janet does have very good counterboxing. She does have the opportunity to have the one-punch knockout against Alicia. If it's going to end in a knockout, I do think Janet's going to get the nod here. But the main problem I have with picking this fight for Janet is that there is just a significant age difference. Janet is almost a decade older than Alicia, and she has looked it in her most recent fight. So I do think that Alicia's probably going to get the decision win here. I think they're just going to continue to work the body of Janet, gas her out, and get a pretty clear-cut decision victory here. There is also a top 5 atomweight MMA contest between Itsuki Hirata and Hiho Ham. This is the second time this fight got booked. This fight could actually kind of be a little bit boring. I could see it looking like the Jihin Itsuki Hirata fight, and where it's a lot of clinching and just kind of haphazard strikes. Itsuki is very dangerous, great submission game on the ground, and she does have a lot of one-punch knockout power, which you don't really see in the division, but she just doesn't do a great job at setting that stuff up, because I think she's kind of gotten so cocky in her abilities that she just doesn't really know how to transition from just a normal fight into that finishing mode that she gets into. And I think that Siho Ham is almost the exact opposite. She's a decisionator. She's not very dangerous in many places, but she does everything pretty well. She's defensively sound everywhere. So I think it's probably going to look like Siho Ham just defending the takedowns, outstriking Itsuki, while Itsuki was just swinging away trying to land a power shot. I mean, I could see it turning out like the Linda Quinn fight, where Siho Ham is winning like 14 out of the 15 minutes, but then Itsuki finds her shot, and that's enough for her to win the fight. But I'll have Ham taking a decision. A note about another change: Zikri will be taking on Rui Botello on short notice in Muay Thai. Rui Botello was originally supposed to be fighting Williams, but now Zikri will be taking his place. Zikri probably gets it done here. I mean, that's his discipline. He's a very underrated fighter in the one division. That one should be a fun fight. The fight I am most looking forward to on the card is the women's strawweight submission grappling contest between Tammy Musumeci and Bianca Mastilio. Both these women are world champions. Tammy is, of course, the sister of Mikey Musumeci, the current flyweight submission grappling champion. Could be a very entertaining back-and-forth contest here. I do give the nod here to Bianca because she has been a lot more active in recent time, and she has won an ADCC medal, which is more than what Tammy has achieved throughout her grappling career. As for the two fighters to look out for on the card, I'll go with Akbar Alduliev and Kento Yamakita. Yamakita first is 27 years old. He's a Pan-Creation world champion, undefeated. He's taking on the former champ Alex Silva. I think Silva might just be a little bit too old for this division, being 40. Yamakita, if he goes out there and puts on a great showing against Silva and has a better performance than Gustavo Blart, it will instantly propel him into a title shot. I think he probably can get it done here because he's got medals in both wrestling and BJJ, so he should be weary to most of the stuff that Silva can do off of his back, but I think he'll out-wrestle into a decision here. And then Akbar Abduliev, he is a Kyrgyzstani undefeated fighter. He just won a one-night tournament. He was an absolute wrecking machine, very powerful. Ohotak got a robbery win over Yakahasha back in September. I think that Abduliev probably just outstrike him and is a lot more powerful, so I'll think that Abduliev gets a knockout here, so he can put on a very good performance. That, guys, those are my predictions on the One Fight Night 8 card. It is a card that has suffered a lot. It lost the original main event in Arjun versus Anatoly, and now it lost the big fight in Superlek versus Rodtang. But we still have some good fights to carry over from here. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share for more content. Leave your own comments down below telling me your predictions. This is Shard TV Productions, and I'm out.